Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready for some boom? Baby, boom! Right. And shine your light of light into this world. It's another morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your host with the mostest, Mark Saint. This is Saint's Addiction. I'm on a mission somewhere down here to reach, preach, and teach to everyone. To not only like see my crotch right off in the morning, but to keep it real and to spread some light and then not spread the darkness. But I got a chip on my shoulder because I got a roommate that likes to eat my food without my permission, without me, and I'm in a thermostat war, already having arguments in the morning. And I know this isn't a daily uh, Bible or what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word you got? Diary. I'm just gonna say some people's kids, man. Some people's kids, and some people's parents, even. You know what I mean? They probably got it from their parents. They got it from their mama, and not in a good way, like the booty or the backups, but like their bad attitudes. And some people never see the forest through the trees. They'll constantly blame their parents for what they did, and then they'll pull the same actions. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And it's unfortunate that some people don't see, they'll never see it. They'll never see their narcissism. They'll never see their selfishness. They'll never see their entitlement. They'll just think that it's everybody else. Everything's an argument, everything's a competition. Even my buddy, we went to lunch the other day, Sushi Sluts. Shout out to Dominic. Thank you for the meal. He's my good friend. But he's like, everything's a competition. And here he is, pretty wealthy, cool car, green Dodge Challenger, and we drive past someone and he's like, God damn it, he's got a better bumper than me. And I was just like, what the fuck, man? Not only do you already have a cool car, but see this gap between the window behind here? This you already have a cool car. You're mad that someone has a cooler car, and even if you got up to this level, you wouldn't be happy because you'd have to attain another level. And I was just like shocked by the behavior that so much of his happiness wasn't from what he had, but what someone else had. And so many other people are just unhappy. They don't even know that they're depressed, right? They don't even know that they're stressed. They don't even know that they're arguing with everybody. They have bad days. They take it out on other people. It's the wambulance, bro. It's the wambulance. You hear it in the background. It's the wham. I hurt. My feelings hurt. Things are happening to me, and it's like, well, what'd you do to deserve it? You know what I mean? Did you get experimental with your life, or did you settle? I've been learning this morning because there's people that will give up their happiness for perfectionists. They'll literally chase bigger boobs, bigger cars, bigger houses, whatever the fuck it is, and not be happy. And then they only get happy off of making someone else jelly. It isn't the fact that they're on the Met Gala and taking other photos and being in an awesome Versace outfit. It's the fact that the other girl was staring at it. So you're getting more joy from someone else being jealous, and how is that a positive? How is two negatives a positive? How is it that you're over here, instead of enjoying your life, you're enjoying the jealousy? Do you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to eat jelly and expect it to fill you up? It just doesn't make sense. And a lot of people aren't waking up. Now I sound like just a regular old YouTuber influencer. People aren't waking up. No, it was like I had to look at myself. The Saints addiction is real, bro. I had to examine myself and go, why am I always arguing with people? Let me go get a psychologist. Let me go get a third person. Let me go get a third perspective and ask the question, what do I have to prove? Right? If I'm arguing with somebody, why am I trying to convince strangers of my opinion? And why am I so Taurus that I feel it's my job to share my opinion? Where are my strategies for my happiness? How do I derive this experiment? And that's what it is, because otherwise you'll still, I wish I had it memorized. There was like 4 quadrants, but basically it was the opposite of being experimental. The experimental version was somebody that was willing to risk new behavior for new outcomes. Right? The other people just want to double down on their perfectionism and ignore the results. They want the accolades, but the results aren't making them happy. The girl wanted to chase success or her version of success, which she had to write down. What's your version of success, right? And what do you want to do with your life? So there's people that spend most of their life trying to beat other people in arenas they don't even really care about, like Spartan races or mountain climbing or mountain biking. I'm not quite sure, but you might not even care about it. You might just show up because there's a hot chick, and you're only trying to participate because you want to beat other people at it. Wouldn't that be weird? Like, say you're a doctor, but you're afraid of blood, but you only went to doctor school because your parents wanted you to. Hard to live someone else's life. And it's hard to be someone else's emotions, and it's definitely hard to be someone else's mind. If they're set in their ways, you know, can't see when they're being narcissistic, can't see that they're arguing, can't see that they're not keeping the peace. I'm learning. You know, I listened to Lily last night, and she said, Mark, you're going to catch a case with this new roommate. And I said, yeah, man, you might be right. So why don't I watch all the red flags that I'm hitting and just go on, move along my way instead of trying to change somebody. That's what I think is going to end up happening. I have to learn too, bro. I have to outlearn myself. I have to outlearn my habits. I have to figure out me so that I can get me to function properly, right? And a function properly me is somebody that gets the morning quiet, no arguments, right? Eats his own food and doesn't have somebody making it without my permission, eating it without my permission, inviting his friends over to eat it, and ate it right in front of me type shit. With the garlic bread that I bought, and then they said, oh, I saved you yours. Right, less than half of the roll. I bought that food. I didn't tell him to cook it. He complained over it, and then all of a sudden he helped himself to it. Got you, bro. Be the last meal I buy. And honestly, I buy. You fly. You're supposed to fly, go get it. I end up picking it up my damn self and doing the dishes. So it's one of those things where I see imbalance. I can see when people don't pull their own weight, always in conflict, always argumentative. I'm on some, okay, I'll check you, dude. I don't have to have thermostat wars. I need to have awareness. I need to have that superpower that I posted in the thumbnail about not being affected by other people's emotions. And that's exactly what this has to be. You have to be like, okay, thank you, universe, for showing me what it is. You know what I mean? I can see now. I don't have to argue with it. You know, I don't have to berate myself over the head over the details anymore. I need to make a movement. And that's what really happens. Two people, Saints Addiction, it comes down to that last decision right there, bro. And you say, am I going to stay or am I going to move? And I want to put a move over stay situation, but literally you're not allowed to stay because the only consistency in the universe is change. And even if you wanted it to stay, people aren't going to stay the same age. You're not going to live in the same city. And days are going to change. Like today's cloudy. I didn't choose it to be cloudy. A little bit sunny right now, but it's cloudy/sunny. That's going to change. Today, even. You're going to change today. And this incremental, experimental changes that make us a little bit more aware of who we are. You know, the girl said, oh, I wanted to do YouTube because all my friends look like having fun. And she got in, she did the damn thing. She was experimental with it, but she realized she didn't want to live the life of an influencer. It wasn't her. She just wanted to try on the dress. Experiment. What dress fits you? And wear the dress that you like the most and then switch it up after a year. You know, it's like tires, man. You know, everything's getting used and changed and growing. I'm watching the leaves in the front of the trees grow. There's the little green keeps coming every day, more and more and more. Spring is upon us and we have to spring forward. We can't be the same way that we want to be and expect our lives to change. It's like, you're going to complain, I'm hungry, I have no money, I have no woman. Well, what the fuck, bro? You know, I don't see you working out. Right? You know what I mean? I don't see you getting a job, right? You know, and see you sitting here smoking weed, complaining, which is quite interesting. And then be like, well, have you bought any women? It's not my job to bring you women, you know? It's not my job to feed you, and definitely don't eat my food. So it was one of those things where I'm Thanksgiving and I give, and I'm like, Mark, you should just be grateful that you could afford the food and feed some people in front of you. And I try to get to that point in myself without the envy, without the anger, without the entitlement. And then I let it go, I think, a little bit, but it's in me somewhere where it's like I've never had anybody make the food, complain about the food that I bought, make the food that I bought. and then eat the food that I bought without me. Like I'm baffled, but that's some people's kids, and we're gonna bless up the morning with the morning motivation. If you got anything out of this, you already know. Hoodie's about $80. It's a little bit cheaper because it's thinner, and you don't have the inside hood printed. There's no pocket, but it's beautiful. Isn't she beautiful? Looks like a tattoo. Isn't she gorgeous? Thanks, Badge. So the tough part in psychology is Apple really doesn't fall far from the tree. Talking about my mom and how much she cared about money and how gangster she was and how unapologetic she was, and you turn out to be an unapologetical gangster that just cares about money. It's weird, but it's like, how does that happen? How do we see senior, junior? How do we see auntie, tia Mia? You know what I mean? The mom and the aunt. You know, they start. I think that's when you have to look at psychology and biology at the same time. If we were to witness gorillas in the mist, right? We'd watch certain behaviors. We'd look at it and be like, okay, you know, that one's aggressive, that one's shy, this one's adventurous, this one's curious. We would look at monkeys and giraffes and elephants and lions and love watching Planet Earth and examine their mating behaviors, right? Their evolution, the way that they metamorphosize. We watch these things with our own eyes every time. We're like, ooh, look, it's a caterpillar. A caterpillar's transforming before my eyes. But you can't see yourself transform before your eyes. You might be able to witness growth. You know, you'll see, oh man, dude, that kid was 4 years old. Now he's 14. I think of like Brandon. I remember him being like a little 12, 13, 14-year-old kid. He's now 26 and shit with six-pack abs, traveling the world with these beautiful women. I'm like, this is little Brandon, bro? No way. Get him, bro. And that some of my friends that kids ain't kids no more. Talking about, I got braces, I'm in high school. You're like, I remember when you were in fucking diapers, bro. Like, time passes, but maybe you don't get the pass. You don't pass yourself into the future. You kind of, I know a lot of people that live in the past, you know, like women that wear clothing that they should be wearing in their 20s. They didn't elevate, they're trying to stay. And there's a lot of people that are trying to stay. If you want to be a hoarder, you know, some people's kids, you can judge them, but guess what? They lost their son. Now they don't want to lose anything. Not a pizza fucking a box, not a piece of trash. Everything's now hoarded because of a loss. And you go, how did they get this way? Usually because of loss. How did you get this way? Usually because of lonely. How did you get this way? Usually because of depression. And it adds up. You know, ask your friends and you'd be like, oh man, I came into my cousin's corner, and this whole corner was filled with Hennessy bottles, bro. And the rat that lived in the house would go between the Hennessy bottles. So sometimes when I would sleep, I'd hear clink, 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 clink. And it was a rat going between the bottles. Right, bro. You know, it's one of those. It's one of those where even with the evidence in front of you, even with this whole porch filled with empty Hennessy bottles and rats running between it, he didn't get it. And then I was like, well, you know, Herman, man, you know, you got a big heart, you know, and you got it broken by your father dying. Now you have 5 children. Imagine if you die to them, you just made the problem 5 times worse. So now they're going to be like, my daddy died when he was young, and I love my daddy, and I loved him so much. And now you're going to make them drink their lives away because they didn't have no daddy? You in the hospital the same time your baby being born, bro. You know, it's just not right. And it's like, you know, some people's kids, they don't want to see it. Some people's kids don't want to grow up. Some people's parents didn't help them grow up. Some people didn't get guided. Maybe you didn't get a father. Maybe you didn't get a mother. Maybe you didn't get maybe you were adopted. Shit, who fucking knows? It happens to all of us, bro. And this is our lives. This is what we bring to the table. This is how we live it. And it's all up to you to determine if you're going to experiment with it. You know, are you going to take the cards that you were dealt and go to the table? Or are you going to try to be like rounders and play this game deviously? Like, I'm going to just hold cards underneath my sleeve, or, you know, not play sometimes, or opt out. Yeah, it'd be nice to hit the fucking pause button. It'd be nice to hit the reset button, but those simply don't exist. The only button that you have is risk. Am I willing to listen? Am I willing to absorb? Am I willing to learn a new path? Am I willing to learn a new skill? With the time that I'm given, right? The girl was right. She didn't have that experience. She wanted to gain an experience. And it goes back to that daily challenge of doing something different every day. Man, that year was so much fun, bro. It got me off my ass. It got me past so many different fucking naps. It got me in the game so I could actually, instead of being on the couch smoking weed, what I already knew, now all of a sudden I was in a museum. Now all of a sudden I was at a lake. And now all of a sudden I was doing a physical activity. These things make your life expand. I can close my eyes, and where was I the other day? I closed my eyes. I don't even look at videos sometimes, but I can close my eyes and I'll get flashes of like the Bay of Finland. This I don't think it was called the Bay of Finland, but in Helsinki. I just close my eyes and I can see all these old places with my like I'm watching a 3D or a 360 movie camera, right? I can close my eyes and see the vision or the street view from Google, right? You know what I mean? And be like, wow, dude, that's fucking cool. Instead of being on my phone, that's fucking cool. I can close my eyes and now that's the black screen, and I can flip it through memories, and I can you know what I mean? Like, we play more on our devices than we play with our lives. And that's scary. I was watching something. They were watching some poor girl. She barely had any clothes on. She was wasted. She had her big Louis Vuitton bag. Everything was name brand, but she was scattered. She was wasted. In the apartments, obviously someone kicked her out. And they were like, what's wrong with you? And she started like shaking her ass and being drunk. And like, oh, she's coming to our front door, y'all. And all she could do was hold her bag and hold her phone, because that's all she knew. These things are going to save me. As long as I have the clothes on my back and someone I can call myself out of this, Mr. Wizard. And I am the wizard. Abracadabra. Just like fucking Kanye West was doing it. He was like, I wasn't told that I couldn't do things. You know what I mean? I wasn't taught that. I wasn't taught that it was a black and white world. I wasn't taught that way. That this is your white dad, this is your black mom, and you can only associate any which way. No, I'm a human being. And both of them are human. And they made this human. And they made other humans with them all. Just like me. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix of balance. It's going to be a mix of extremes, saints and addictions. It's going to be mostly saints. That halo has horns. We like to virtue signal to everybody that our lives are perfect, but it's curated. It's not perfect. It's what we want you to see. And I'm just like, that's not real, bro. To get real, you're going to have to get experimental. You're going to have to fucking see what works for you. You're going to have to get your hands messy. You're going to have to break some things. You're going to have to get broke in and put yourself back together again, only to become stronger, only to become the new version. That's not experimental. It's prototype 69, baby. That's our best prototype so far. I'm thinking of Iron Man, I don't know, was it 3 or whatever, when Homeboy was in it? What's his name? The boxer dude. And he goes in and goes, this is experimental. It's $162 million. Dude goes up and just takes the helmet off. He's like, what are you doing? And he goes in, shit software. And he takes his toothpick out. What's his name? Mickey Rourke? Yeah, Mickey Rourke's in it. And he just like, shit software. This is some shit software. This is some shit people with some shit software, some shit apps, and they've never improved themselves. They're shit at technology. I'm bad at technology. Then you'll stay bad at technology. I'm bad at names. Then you'll stay bad at names. I'm bad at math. You'll stay bad at math. You can practice anything 15 minutes every day, and guess what? You'll be an expert at it. But you're an expert at finger fucking your phone, right? How many 15 minutes do you give up every day on social media? Be honest. And what if you could have the willpower and the control, the superpower to control yourself and put the damn phone down, or turn it on to some fucking piano notes and start participating? What if you put that energy into you and creating what you want to be instead of what has happened to you? You get what the power switch is? You get the Saints addiction switch again? That I was like, if I put all this energy into my addictions, I'll never get to my saintlyhood. I'll never get up. I'll just always stay the same. And I'll watch days go by. If you've been alive long enough, it'd be like another day or today's the day. Day one or one day. You really get to pick and choose. And this is like, that's the decision that's on you. That's the morning motivation this morning. She was right. Every time you get to face this decision to clock in or clock out, and it's up to you to clock in. Like Freddie Flintstone sliding off the Brontosaurus's fucking tail, swooping on in and punching in his little brick clip. You remember that? Anybody? No, just me? Okay. Well, Freddie Flintstone used to slide down the tail and clock into work, man. And George Jetson used to. We left either the future or the past, and then all we have is really the now. To take this as an experiment of our lives and say, you know what? What if I jumped out of that plane? You know what I mean? Or what if I didn't respond? Or what if I listened? What if? Just what if? And that's and why not? I like the what if, why nots. What can be is what you want it to be. If you're willing to experiment, that's it. Are you an expert or you experiment? Do you have expertitis? So you have perfectionist? Are you always on point? Or do you know how to get loosey-goosey sometimes? Do you know how to drop some Sid and dance like no one's watching? We are so extreme. Our little lives that we'll just wait all week, Monday through Friday, busting ass, being this like super tight corporate people, and they'll go on the weekend doing some BDSM, getting spanked, and doing some extreme behavior to get over it. And my friend said it. I said, "Do you think people stop coming to the island?" And he's like, "No way." And I said, "Why? What makes you say no way?" And he said, "Because people hate their lives where they're at." What the fuck? He's talking about Western culture. He's talking about America. He's talking about Australia looking ass. He's talking about Europe looking ass. I was like, damn. Because you'll fucking get that whole thing, and you're like, I can't do winter. I'll do 7 months, but I can't do 9 months. I'll do a couple months, but I gotta break free. I got to be free. You know what I mean? I want to be free. Like you got to, bro. You gotta break free, and that's why he was right. He was right. People are gonna have to dip past their fucking lives and be like, oh shit, this shit's crazy. I gotta fucking slip slide ride and get past all this crazy. And that's what I'm trying to do this morning. And I hate this word try. It's like trapped in me. That's what I'm doing this morning. That's exactly what I'm doing this morning. Being cognitive of my behaviors, being cognitive of my energy, my only superpower, my vibe, and it manifests that. I got a new tank top coming out. Y'all ain't seen it yet. I got a new pillow coming out. We're going to see if this one comes in custom shapes. Intersect.ai is just taking the fuck off, dude. We just had the best meeting yesterday. We got social media posted now, automated, posted in threads. Nobody else can do that. Facebook threads, posting 15 to 30 times a day. I'm already posting. I'm trying to post 5 times a day. That's what I had up to. It's what's 5 times 30? 6 times fold. It's 10x, man. 10x in my life, man, so that I can get my own place. So I don't have to have thermostat wars with my roommates that eat my food in front of me. No arguments in the morning. No more teaching. I love to reach, preach, and teaching, but it's not my job to teach grown-ass men how to fucking control themselves. And I know there's a lot of women that feel this, and they don't really watch my show. It's mostly dudes. I know the analytics, but women are right. By the time you get a grown man that still has emotional issues, you're like, I'm not your mama. She should have taught you. You know what I mean? And if you have no relationship with your mom, no wonder why you got mother issues, daddy issues, whatever the fuck it is. It comes to all of us, and we'll fixate on it. We'll be like, I'm not in their system anymore. I'm not in their system anymore. I'm on my own system. And that's why I'm grateful to be away from like the frying pan, the fire, and anything that's hot. I see red flags coming, and I'm like, I see that spot. Real eyes, real lies, real lies. You want to be available to be like, okay, some people's kids, and be able to walk away and be like, that's not my circus. That's not my monkeys, man. I got bigger fish to fry today. And especially if you got shit to do, next thing you know, you're not so consumed with what other people are doing. You won't have time to read their stories and get jealous or interact. You won't have time to make comments or see what the fuck is going on because you're too busy living it. And if you're smart enough, you're still experimenting and you're not posting it. You're just like, I'm doing it. I don't have time to do it. People go, post those pictures. I'm like, well, what fucking time do I have to post pictures? I haven't posted in over 2 years because it says they can delete it. And I'm not here to make other people jealous. I didn't want to post my vacation away and be like, hey, I'm here, 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 I'm here. Lily made me so proud she filled up her whole passport. She's there. She's in Australia, and I've never been. She went to, well, I guess in Norway, but got to see the Northern Lights. I've never done that. Some people get to push it so far, you know. They're pushing it in other bipolar directions, bro. You know, they're pulling it that extreme, that Saints addiction extreme. Maybe they are doing the good things. Maybe they are feeding the homeless, but maybe they used to be doing some really bad shit on drugs, right? Or maybe they're really depressed and being an asshole, but maybe they are trying to get to the other side of happiness, you know, trying to get back. It's hard when you're short, broken, and bald, you know, it's gonna fucking hurt your feelings. Life is tough, you know, like my buddy said, everything's a competition. And maybe you don't want to see it, but the competition's really in you. That's the race. Every morning you get up and you're in the fucking, you know, the square, you know, you're in the blocks, the sprinting blocks. On your mark, get set, go. And that's that 5 second rule. That's that launch. That's that Mel Robbins where she talks about you have the 5 second where you have the 5 seconds to launch yourself out in the morning and I get to go. And here comes Mark Saint. Here comes the show. Here comes the fucking energy. Here comes me. I'm ready to shine. And here comes the shine. And that's what it is. It's like, yeah, man. Not just another day. I'm like, oh shit, what else is gonna happen today? Let's get experimental. Let's get weird. Let's make it dynamic. Make your life dynamic. Don't wait for it to be stagnant. Don't let it to just sit there and rot in front of you in front of a fucking video game or another Netflix episode or a big TV. The fucking TV's in the sky, bro. You gotta get outside. We outside. I love that feeling. I love that saying. We outside. Everybody on the bikes. We outside. You know, we got off the couch is what they're really screaming. We got off the couch. Turn this TV off. Turn this TV off. I put my phone down. I put my phone down. I put my phone down. Repeat that. You know, let me get some new dynamics. Now let me just get the perspective. I'm on the phone on England and I go, he's watching the news and I said, what do you guys think of Trump? And they go, yeah, we think he's a twat. You know what I mean? He's a fucking twat and he's shit in the bed and da 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 da. What do you think about England? Oh, we shut the bed too. Fuck, we're fucking it up. And then, you know, there's no retirement and we've outsourced our railroads to foreign entities, and now it's not even owned by England. It's owned by different parts of Europe. We're fucking shit in the bed. It was like, I would never know that if I didn't ask him directly. And now you get to know the truth for other people. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where we assume a lot. We live inside of our heads a lot. This is almost like a four-wall cage. Go outside. Get that sun. Get that fresh air. Go for a walk. I promise you, your dynamics will change. It's such a blessing to see the rest of the world, interact with other people, see what functions, see if your life functions. You know, when you get to meet other people, you share your vibration. You're like, vibration check. Good morning. Did they say good morning back? Right. Am I listening to this jet or am I listening to the birds? Have I been listening to the birds chirp at all? Uh, you know, this whole game is very interactive. It's a really cool simulation, our lives, and getting in it and manifesting it and seeing what we can do with it. I promise you, there's a whole nother world on the other side, and that I can promise you. You know, I don't get to promise much on this show, but I promise you, there's a whole nother world, and that's where I'll see you on the other side. So, peace and love. That's your morning motivation, you know. And as always, Chi Gatan. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. The other side of your fears. The other side of your excuses. and on the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be. Peace.